Thanks so much, Kay. And yeah, we're just getting our hearing back after getting out of Stadium Australia, because that place was rocking but ultimately ended in heartbreak for all of the fans, or majority of the fans, as the Matildas go down to the Lionesses. Augie, turns up for the big games. First time we're going to see England in a football World Cup final since 1966. Augie, you were a young lad back then, but this is massive, especially from the Lionesses. Did they just show tonight why they were pre-tournament favourites?
It is massive for England, because they've put a lot of investment in the Lionesses over the years, and I don't think any nation has had the accelerated development that England's had in the last 10 years. Do they deserve to be in the final? Yes. But I don't think it was a game where they kind of cut loose and hammered out the fact that they are the best team in the tournament. I think I've seen Spain a couple of times. I think Spain have got much more talent across the pitch, they've got more X factor, but I think England have got that knowledge that they know how to win things. They won the Euros last year. They've got players who won the Champions League. They're a team that you can tell that they're a team that are very confident in what they do, and you can sense that Australia weren't. Australia, for me, the emotion of the occasion, the doubts over Sam Kerr's fitness. She scored an amazing goal, but she was quiet in the first half. But I do think that England look like a team that know they're at the stage they want to be, but it's a different challenge against Spain.
Is a different challenge against Spain. We're going to get to talking about that challenge against Spain shortly. But one of the things we've been talking about England is that they've probably not been as dominant or clinical in front of goal as we wanted them to see, considering when you look at the names on the pitch in the starting 11 and then you see the names coming off of the bench, is something that plagued the USA as well. We spoke to Mary Earps in the press conference a few days ago. She said that their best is yet to come. Tonight, did we see that best? At least the best of the tournament.
Yeah, it's been the best of forms. Well, obviously put 6 past China, but
against better opposition.
The host nation in Sydney. I mean, that is a big pressure game when England turn up and won tonight. And
different goal scorers.
I do think that England put on a really good performance. So it's hard to pick holes in it, but defensively they were a bit caught out when Sam Kerr scored that goal. But I do think England were in control tonight. They never looked like they were going to lose the game, apart from maybe a 2 or 3 minute spell after they conceded. But England did what they had to do, but they didn't have to be any better than that tonight. It's where they can go to another level, and I think they beat Spain in the Euros, so they know how to beat Spain. But I think Spain are a better side now.
One player who doesn't seem to miss is Lauren Hemp. How good has she been this tournament? And I feel like we're not talking about her enough because we've been so busy talking about the other Lauren, in Lauren James, who will be back for the final. We'll get to that in a bit, but Lauren Hemp, wow.
Yeah, I mean, Lauren Hemp is one of these players that doesn't get the credit she deserves.
Exactly.
It's a bit like Kira Walsh. There's certain players that, for whatever reason, they fly under the radar. But she's an absolutely integral part of the team. And I think the goal she scored was just sensational. And in the sense that it took them into the lead, it was a bit of a mistake defensively. But the fact it was sensational in the sense that she had the commitment, she chased it down, and she scored the goal. So I do think that every team needs a player like that. And in Lauren Hemp, they've got that. And I think the other star names of the team that get much more credit, much more praise, but she's a key player.
So England, of course, making it to the final, but we have to talk about Australia because it feels like this was a final for them. It feels like they've almost won some sort of a trophy here. Now that you've made it to Australia, you see the impact that they've had, this Matildas group. How do you even put it into words?
Well, I got the train up to the game tonight, and the train manager or the train driver said, "Welcome to the Matilda Express." So we were on the Matilda Express, but that tells you everything, because it's not only it's women's football, it's football. And football in Australia, it does fall behind Aussie rules or the cricket or the rugby. So for that to happen, and for the sense that you feel that everybody in Australia stopped to watch this game tonight, it shows how much the game has been taken on by this tournament. But it did feel like the end of the line a little bit, because Australia playing the European champions. It's not just the old enemy of England; it's the European champions. And I think, yes, they have a world-class striker in Sam Kerr. And I think Mary Fowler's got that ability as well. But beyond that, I think looked pretty limited Australia. And I think Alana Kennedy was missing as well, so that made a difference. So I think England had the quality. England were just a better team, and you could tell that England have got more experience at this level, and that's what it was. But it was an amazing occasion, and it's a fantastic country and city for sport, isn't it? And the stadiums are great. It always had the Olympics here. It just feels like it loves its sport, and it's embraced the Matildas, and it's been brilliant, really.
And I know you writers tend to be tactical nerds sometimes. You like to read the stats and look at it. You especially, Augie. But Tony Gustafsson, we have to talk about him, because I'm assuming we're definitely going to talk about Serena Wigman eventually, because a lot of England's success, definitely credit to her. But Tony Gustafsson, we know his pedigree that he's had and the experiences that he's had with the US women's national team has kind of brought some of that, he said, to this Matildas team. How much credit do you give him for what we have seen?
Well, he's the coach, and I think every team ultimately reflects the personality of the manager or the coach, and I think that's what he's done. He's brought. You see him on the touchline. He's very lively. He's very into the game, and I think you can tell he's charismatic in that sense. So I think he has been a big part of this, and I think going forward, I think Australia will always have a chance to be a great football nation because it's just such a sporting nation. As we said, kids want to play sport, so if they can tap into that, Australia in the years to come will be a real force, I think.
Well, amazing stuff from the Matildas all tournament long. Amazing stuff from England too, but like we said, Tony Gustafsson, Kay. I'm going to throw it out there because the whispers have started that with Vlatko Ananovsky possibly on the way out at the U.S. Women's National Team, does someone like Tony leave the Matildas and take that role?
Well, I mean, if we talk about the succession, Serena Wiegmann. I mean, if she wins the World Cup, what can she do with England?
All right, well, worth just throwing some spanners into the works there. Thanks so much for watching ESPN on YouTube, and for more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app, and for premium content and live streaming, subscribe to ESPN Plus.